Hello and welcome to ZTN Sports Daily, where you get the latest stories from the world of sport. My name is Howard Msonza, and we've got plenty coming your way. On the show today, Marvelous Nakamba set to return to action tomorrow as Aston Villa hosts Sheffield United in the Premier League. Zim top golfer Scott Vincent puts brake to use as he pushes himself for more PGA Tours. ZTN's Lance Giandes covers weird and wacky sporting news amid coronavirus lockdown. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta is positive about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang new deal. You're watching Sports Daily right here on ZTN. My name is Howard Msonza, and first up, we talk football. And Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta is positive about agreeing a new contract with 30-year-old Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. The deal that the Gabonese international that he signed runs out in 2021. Arteta says the club must show that he is valued and he needs to feel he belongs to them. Aubameyang, on the other hand, has said a new deal at this stage is possibly the most important decision of his career. Still on football, Marvelous Nakamba's Aston Villa start their battle to avoid relegation against Sheffield United tomorrow. Villa are 2 points from safety, but have one game in hand compared to teams in the same zone. For Nakamba to ensure that he plays in the EPL next season, Villa must get positive results in a run of 10 games, with 5 of those matches coming against top 7 clubs. After Wednesday's game, Villa will face Chelsea at home, Newcastle away, Wolves at home, Liverpool away, Manchester United and Crystal Palace at home, Everton away, Arsenal at home and West Ham away. Let's now move on to some rugby news. And Zimbabwe international team player Lindwa Munerenyu believes that making a difference in women's game is more than just playing the game. She speaks to ZTN on what other steps she has taken.
It has motivated me to take roles of administration. It has given me opportunities to even manage a team of my own, which we then got incorporated into All Georgians, one of the biggest clubs in Zimbabwe right now. A better platform and more experience. With their support, we've been great. So I've had the opportunity of managing girls that are starting rugby from scratch with just zeal right now. And they've even gone to be drafted into national setups. So I'm just grateful, and it's a great honor to be able to be part of such a great movement. That's been my rugby story. And the fact that I've played it for 10 years, understanding that injuries come my way, bruises come my way, it's a risk every time I put myself in that field. But I always say to myself, I'm doing this. I'm definitely doing this. I'm never giving up.
Let's now move on to some tennis news, and it has never been rosy for talented players that often leave for the United States on scholarships. But the move by the National Collegiate Athletic Association to relax rules on how athletes can benefit from their fame before they go big could change all that. The chances are likely to go into effect at the start of the 2021 to 2022 academic year. Now, we spoke to Zimbabwe tennis player Takanyi Garanganga to find out what tennis players on scholarship sometimes have to face.
Indeed, Zimbabwe has produced a lot of junior tennis players that obviously went to the US after their junior career for university tennis scholarships. But I think over those years, usually it's a 4-year period, and sometimes players do get caught up in the US way of life and the bills and other challenges that they may be facing. I'd rather say they could speak for themselves, but from what I've noticed, obviously, I think tennis is an expensive sport, so they kind of transition into the coaching arena because they actually have a good understanding of the game. So that's the way they can kind of take care of themselves out there. So most of the people end up becoming tennis coaches, but I think the best person to ask would be some of them if you guys get to interact with them at some point. But yeah, I mean, it's more of becoming tennis coaches.
You're watching Sports Daily right here on ZTN. Up next is Lance as he scours social media for some wacky and weird sporting news.
I'd like to encourage you guys to take the corona outbreak virus very seriously, to try by all means to abide by the rules and regulations that have been put forward by the World Health Organization, to try as much as possible to minimize contact with a lot of people, to try as much as possible, if you have any symptoms, to go to the nearest hospital, to report it to any doctors close to you. It is very important for us to take care of our family and friends.
Thanks a lot, Howard. You are watching Sports Daily here on ZTN. Now, to start off our weird and wacky news, here is a golfer who didn't let the weather stop him from completing his game. Come hell, come thunder, the consistency to just maintain his gaming attitude on. Now, football can be unfair, but most decisions are in the referee's hands. In the following clip, was this a goal or not?
Aralica u prilici da u prvom kontaktu s loptom izjednači. I napravit će, neće to napraviti. Pokazuju sad da je lopta prošla kroz mrežu. I ovo je zaista bizarno. Pokazuju da je lopta prošla kroz mrežu i izgledalo je tako, ali da postoji rupa u golu i da je tuda prošla. Evo sad pokazuju igrači Sesveta što je bilo. A sudac pokazuje goal out. Evo, ovo su draži druge lige.
Ripley's Believe It or Not, the ball went through the net. Literally, it did. Can one really walk in the sky? The following person has his own unique way of doing it. He has a strong core. Well, remember, you are watching Sports Daily. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, which is Zimpapers TV Network, and on Twitter, we are at ZTN News. I'm Lance.
Coronavirus is a threat to all humanity. It has killed over 350,000 people so far, and many others are in quarantine away from their loved ones. We are fortunate to be alive, but no one knows how and when the virus will strike closer to home. You and I are each other's keeper. With winter upon us, let's ensure that none of us will be exposed to the elements that make us vulnerable to COVID-19. Let's help those in need by contributing to the Zimpapers COVID-19 Fund. The proceeds will go towards equipping underdeveloped health centers and communities. To contribute, dial or SMS the following numbers on your screen. Remember, if we stand together, we win together.
Thanks a lot, Lance. You're still watching Sports Daily right here on ZTN. And moving on in golf, Scott Vincent is one of Zimbabwe's top golfers who play mostly on the European and Asian tours. We caught up with the star to find out what he was up to during the coronavirus forced break.
Yeah, when we first got back to Colorado, we got out and did some snowshoeing, which I'd never done before. We've done a bit of camping and hiking. So yeah, we've really taken this this time to do things that we wouldn't be able to do. And in between all that, we've had the opportunity to spend time at home, and also to work on myself and try and get better that way. We've been really good about attacking the physical side of it. My trainer, Grant Mitchell, has been excellent with sending me workouts to do almost every single day, and so we've been tackling it really aggressively from that. And I'm feeling a lot stronger, and it's making a huge difference. And so really thankful that Grant's part of my team now. And then on the golf and swing side of it, my coach and I have been working on things that we don't normally get the time to work on because we're so busy during the season. So there's been a lot of positives that have come from this, but obviously we would love to be out there playing again. Hopefully that's going to happen soon, and look forward to it.
The Zimbabwe golfer talked about the Asian and European tours, and he admits he needs to push more for successful PGA tours.
They're all so tough in their own regard. Starting out, just getting a place to play was really difficult, and I had to fight for that on the Asian tour. And then last year, as I moved across to Japan a little more, again, it's your first year out there, you're not playing as many tournaments as all the other people because you don't have full status yet. Again, it's a hard grind, and a lot of work has to go into that. The toughest for me has probably been the European tour. I haven't had the greatest success out there yet, and it's something that I'm adjusting and looking at and trying to figure out what I need to do differently in order to have success out there. And so it's a moving problem that I have, that we're trying to attack it from all different angles. But the PGA Tour I haven't had a whole lot of experience on. I've only gotten to play a couple of events, and obviously that's the end goal for me and where I'd like to be in the future. So that's the biggest problem I have right now. I was trying to figure out how I'm going to get status out there and how I'm going to compete with the best in the world, because that's where the best players are playing.
There's no doubt the PGA is where it really gets very tough. So how did it all start for a golfer who recently surpassed the $2 million United States dollars and career prize money since turning pro more than 4 years ago?
Golf has been a huge part of my life, and so to really dig back and remember what got me started. My dad obviously was a huge part of me starting. He played golf and loved sports, and took me to the golf club when I was very young and kind of got me interested, and that's how it started. But a lot of credit has to go towards Roger Bayless. He picked me up at a young age, saw some talent, and sacrificed and worked and put in the long hours to help me chase after the dreams that I had. And ultimately that was to come to the States, play college golf, and then see if we were good enough to play professionally. And so I owe a lot of credit to Roger Bayless. He does an amazing job with the juniors, has for many years, and still is doing that. And so big shout out to Rog. Thanks so much, and grateful for everything that you do for myself and for all the other juniors.
Scott talks about his father's influence in him choosing the sport, but the Zimbabwean star believes there must be structured junior programs for more stars to come out of the country.
Golf is such an amazing sport, and I've obviously had the opportunity to take it right the way through from junior golf to professional golf. The biggest thing in my eyes, that where it needs to change and where it needs to grow, is in the juniors. If you have a buzzing and great junior program, it's only going to overflow into all the other areas of golf. So it has to start with the juniors. I was fortunate that when I was a junior, there were so many of us, and we were able to compete and push each other to sharpen our skills and get better. The biggest thing would have to be the juniors.
Let's now move on to our Olympics update, and here's a question for you. What are your top 3 Zimbabwe sport memories? Well, everyone will certainly have something different, and Zimbabwe rower Mike Thornycroft has cricket on top of the list. Can you believe it?
Firstly, as a child, my youngest memory is going to the cricket grounds and spending weekends there. Parents would all be in the grandstands having a great time, and I just loved the way the Zim cricket team just brought so many people together for just such a great social time. So they're my number 1. Secondly would be our golden girl Kirsty. She really has led just such a high standard for so many years, and is just such a role model for so many people. And not just during her sporting career, she's come back to the country and is just giving so much of herself to help others and develop sport in general. So definitely she's there. And most recently, just another aspect would be the first guy racing in the Dakar, Graham Sharp. He started his journey, and it's a very individual sport as well. And he managed to somehow make it just so much bigger than just him. And he visited so many people and got so many people involved in his story. And so it just gave just such a nice light and just different position for so many people just to follow this incredible story of the first Zimbabwean ever completing the Dakar, and it's just such a great lead for Zimbabweans to follow, in that there's so many new things. You don't have to stick with the norm. You can keep going and finding something that you love and really pushing that and creating a journey out of that.
Still on the Olympics update, Zimbabwe water polo national team player Cheyenne Marias believes more exposure can take them to Tokyo 2020 Olympics, now set for 2021.
And to be able to make it to the Olympics, you really do need to compete against the best of the best. And unfortunately here in Zim, we are pretty limited to just us and South Africa for water polo. So we don't get the full exposure that other countries get. And I think that plays a big part in getting to the Olympics, because we really do need to compete against everyone else and have that exposure and see how they all play.
Sports Daily done and dusted for today. Join us again tomorrow as we give you a rundown of what's happening in the sporting world. My name is Howard Msonza. Thanks a lot for watching.